Hey guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to another video. I am on the couch this week. I know that these videos and the videos I've put out more recently have been a little bit more basic. Normally I like to go out and film different things and be a bit more creative, but I have been swamped with work and various other bits and bobs. So keeping things simple is the only way I can actually put stuff out at the moment. So today's video, I want to talk a little bit about some of my tips on how to get a job out here in the UAE. It is now November, mid-November in fact, approaching December, and this is a really good time to start thinking about applying for jobs out here as a teacher specifically in the UAE, because there's a few reasons and I'm going to go into those in this video. So if you're new to the channel, if you are a teacher, if you're thinking about moving out to the UAE, or if you're just interested and enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. We have just passed 500 subscribers, which is very exciting. Hit this like button if you find it at all useful. And if you've got any questions, please comment down below. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, go over and follow me on Instagram. Any questions that you want, you can also hit me up over there too. Right guys, let's get into the video. So it is mid-November, as I've just mentioned, and it is around this time of year that schools will be asking their current teachers whose contracts are due to run out that year, whether or not they are intending to maintain their contract, renew their contract, or whether they are planning on leaving, whether that is to stay within the UAE but choose a different school, or go back home, or do whatever, end their contract. And for that reason, teachers are they have to give their school an indication of what their future intention is so that the school can employ and at least put up advertisements for jobs to fill in roles that will be needed when the current teaching staff changes. So this is a really good time of year to start looking at teaching roles out here in the UAE. So guys, once you have made the decision that you want to move out here, or you want to at least look into what positions are available, there are a few different means to do so. The first one, and this is how I got my position, is to look on the many websites that offer positions and that the schools out here will advertise via. So there are places like TES or TES, there is Teaching Abroad, there are a variety of different websites. I'll link a few of those down in the bio or the description of this video, so go ahead and check those out if you haven't already done so. You can also do things like look on schools' social media accounts or on their websites, because often schools will upload jobs as they become available on those areas too. So go and have a look, see what is coming up, and my recommendation is to have them sort of saved on your laptop or your computer, linked on your phone perhaps, or linked on a tablet or something, and then every week just go through and check. Many schools, especially those that are better schools out here, will be in high demand, so they're going to have a lot of applicants applying, and the sooner you can apply and spend time sorting out your application, the better. So guys, when you decide that you want to apply for a school, typically, from my experience, they're very similar to if you were to apply back in your home country. So you will probably expect to have an up-to-date CV, and a cover letter that entails why you feel you are appropriate for the position. Some schools often ask for like an application form almost to be filled out, which I suppose replaces the need for the cover letter and the CV. And when I first applied to come out here, I was also asked to upload a video of me teaching, specifically a distance session. So that, if you don't have one, could just be you recording yourself as if you were teaching. Might feel a bit strange, it might feel a bit alien, but I suppose the school wants you to see what you might be like when you are teaching and in your teaching mode, if that makes sense. So yeah, so very similar to probably what you've experienced before if you have applied to become a teacher before. So I will add at this point, applying for a job out here should be no different to applying for a job back in your home country. What I mean by that is try not to get overwhelmed by the idea of moving abroad and having this nice sort of Dubai, Abu Dhabi lifestyle where you'll be out and you'll be almost intoxicated by the opportunities that present themselves. Because the last thing you want is to accept a position at a school that really doesn't suit you, and vice versa. Because you don't want to come out here and have a stressful experience I would recommend you waiting if you can't find a school that you think that suits you. So going through the same protocols that you would go through if you were applying for a position back at home, do your research, look the schools up. Do you think that you would enjoy working at those places? Do you think that you would be a good fit? What are they looking for? Do you offer some of the skills that they might need? Do your prior research before applying. Okay, so you've done your research, you've put in some job applications, and let's say at this point you find yourself with an interview. What is the process? What do you have to go through? Now, for me, I went through 3 interviews to get my position, and the reason that I went through 3, having had conversations with certain members of staff and people that interviewed me, now I'm out here, is when you are communicating over video, it can be quite challenging to really get a grasp of what the person is like and how they might be in a classroom or how they might be as a colleague. And so having multiple people interview you means that the school gets a really good picture from lots of different people that will view teaching very differently, that will have their own ideologies on teaching and on what it would be like to be a teacher. And also for you as the candidate, it gives you the opportunity to ask lots of different people from different areas of the school what the school's like, what life out here in the UAE is like, and so on and so forth. Now that's not necessarily going to be the experience that you get, but that is the experience that I've had. So what about the kind of questions that you might be asked? What about all of that stuff? Well, from what I have experienced in the past, I will stick a selection of questions that I can remember being asked in the bio of this video. So feel free to go and check that out. It could help you prepare. But in terms of the actual interview, my recommendation is to just try and be as authentic and the best version of you possible. As teachers, we're working with children, we're communicating and working on a daily basis with other members of staff, support staff. We're obviously communicating and working with parents closely also. So being authentic is really important, and that's what I recommend. Regardless of anything else, try to be the real you, try to be as authentic as possible, because you don't want them to feel like you're putting on some kind of facade, because there's only so long you can do that before that breaks away and the real you comes out anyway. So try to be authentic and yeah, just be you. Now, let's say that you have been offered a job and you are now making the decision as to whether to accept it or not. Hopefully at this point, if you've been offered a job and you've done your research, you will accept it because you've done your research, so it should be a good school. It should be something that you feel you would fit in well with. The next step really is to fill out and get as much paperwork done as soon as possible. Now your school and your school's HR will send you all of the information that you need, and then really it's just up to you to resource that stuff and get it to them as soon as possible. And that really is important. From my experience coming out here, I made it my job really to get all of the paperwork, anything that they wanted, as soon as I possibly could. And I did that as early as possible, because some things do take a little while. Remember, you're applying for visas, you're applying for citizenship, you need to get all of these things ready, not just flying out here, but actually becoming a resident of the country. So there are lots of steps, and some things do take a long time, so the sooner you get onto it and the sooner you give the school what they ask for, the better. Now, there are a few costs associated. It's not like getting a job in the UK where you get offered the job and then you stroll in August or whatever, and that's that. There are a few cost implications that you need to think about. The first one is any degree certificates that you have, you will need to get them sort of authorised by a solicitor and sent over to the UK and the UAE offices to be stamped, because out here, we obviously run on a different system to back in the UK, and therefore all of your documents, including marriage certificates, birth certificates, all things like that, if you've got kids obviously, they need to be confirmed as being legitimate. So there is a cost that comes with that. You also need to pay for a police report so that they know that you've not got a criminal conviction or criminal history, so you need to pay for that also. So yeah, there are a few things that you need to pay out some money on, but again, the sooner you get it done, the better. So there we go, guys. That is the video sorted. Like I said, if you have any questions about the whole process, please do comment down on this video or go over and follow me on Instagram and ask me questions, and I will endeavour to get back to you as soon as possible. While it might be a bit of a stressful process, really try to embrace applying for jobs out here. And like I say, the sooner you get onto it, the sooner you do your research and you start applying, the more likely you are to be offered a position. But there are positions coming up all the time, so if coming out here is something that you really, really want to do, keep your eye out, keep looking into it, keep trying, and I am confident that you will find something that is appropriate and a school that will love to have you as a teacher out here, because life out here is pretty amazing. So, I'm going to end the video here, guys. Like I said at the beginning, if you're new, please consider subscribing, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, comment down below, all of that good stuff, follow me on Instagram, and hopefully I will see you soon. Peace out. Bye.